Rana disagreed and Ijaz stayed. The umpire then thought he heard dissent amongst the fielders.
Off you go, it's all right, he said nothing. Right, thank you. Good.
But then Gatting let slip a remark which sums up the atmosphere this most bad-tempered of test matches is being played in, an aside not meant to be overheard.
No, it's all right, off you go. One rule for one for another.
Even worse was to follow. In the final over, Gatting, in the top right of the picture, tried to move one of his fielders as the bowler was running in. Rana ruled it unfair and interrupted play. Gatting was furious, and there were unprecedented scenes as the argument got totally out of hand.
Pointing fingers, that's not cricket.
Athi moved in, aware there was a danger of a full-scale fight between an England captain and a Pakistani official. Tempers need to cool quickly, or England could be forced to return home early. This is Michael Peshart for the 6 o'clock news.
No, it's all right, off you go. One rule for one for another.
The unsavoury bitterness displayed between an uncharacteristically ill-tempered England captain and a characteristically intransigent Shakur Rana had its origins perhaps in last summer's Headingley test, when Ian Botham edged a ball to Salim Yusuf. The wicketkeeper claimed a catch, though the all-seeing eye of the camera revealed that he dropped the ball. Umpire David Shepherd had to cool things down, as Botham told Yusuf that one hand, one bounce doesn't count in Test cricket. Another experienced umpire, David Constant, had been objected to in advance by Pakistan, but the TCCB unwisely risked future revenge by insisting that he stood. At the Oval, Mudassir Nazar took exception to his attitude, but Imran Khan's dignified leadership prevented trouble, despite more meaningful discussions between Botham, Javed Miandad and Gatting. Constant wasn't one of the neutral umpires standing in the recent World Cup, when Miandad was given out LBW in a match in Pakistan for only the second time in his career.
And there's a shout, yes, and that's Miandad gone. LBW ball defractus. Doesn't look very happy, but certainly got to be somewhere near, and that's the vital breakthrough that England wanted.
Miandad, Imran's successor, has never been a diplomat, nor one to draw back from an argument. It needed his partner Salim Malik to pour oil on these troubled waters, but it's significant that, as with yesterday's incidents, it's Gatting and Bill Athi who are the two England players who get involved. This was an isolated incident in the World Cup, but rumblings became thunder when Chris Broad disputed the judgment of umpire Shakil Khan come the first test in Lahore. Graham Gooch had to remind his partner of the game's traditional acceptance of all decisions. That's one of the bedrocks of cricket. But ironically, not long after, Gooch himself got a dubious decision from the same umpire. Shakil Khan had been the executioner again when Gatting was the victim of an over-hasty LBW decision out second ball to the brilliant Abdul Qadir. It was time later for Gatting to reflect more coolly on the Lahore defeat.
The lads know in their own mind it really wasn't down to a great deal of bad batting. It was just something beyond our control.
How upsetting is it for the players, that sort of treatment?
Well, it's like anything. If you don't get a fair crack of the whip, then you get slightly upset, especially when you're playing against somebody else for your country.
For the second test in FAISALABad, Shakur Rana, against England's wishes, was appointed despite a history of disputes with touring teams, and he quickly gave a poor decision against Graham Gooch. So to the public slanging match yesterday, which sparked the crisis. First, what seemed an unnecessary intervention by Rana from square leg for a legitimate change of field by the England captain.
There's some sort of a discussion there. The umpire signalling dead ball.
The cue for an equally unnecessary and undisciplined loss of temper by Gatting, which may yet lead to his punishment, though he must have had good reason to get as angry as he did. Shakur Rana, who provoked another Test captain, Jeremy Coney of New Zealand, into leading his team off the field 2 years ago in Karachi, wasn't going to oblige the England team today by walking out to join them. It was a time for attempted managerial diplomacy.
I have never seen such incident happen before. anywhere, especially by the captain of any team. He just abused me, you see. I can't tell you what did he say, the words, I mean, but he used the filthy language, bad language, abusing me like anything. I have given my demand to my Secretary Cricket Board, Mr. Ijaz Butt. If he comes and apologizes in writing from me, then we can start the game. Now the matter is with the Secretary of the Board and the manager of the England team, what they decide.
For England, it's been a frustrating day. A long and fruitless wait in the FAISALABAD sunshine to continue a match in which, in case anyone has forgotten, they'd worked themselves into a strong position. But the manager, Peter Lush, was getting nowhere with his diplomacy.
The umpire concerned has refused to go out on the field until he has an apology from the captain in writing, which he's very willing to give, provided that the umpire also apologises for calling him a cheat.
Pakistan's board secretary, Ijaz Butt, not to be confused with the unrelated General Butt, the board president, who later this evening refused Lush an audience, tried to sort things out in consultations with Lush and with Mickey Stewart. But, alas, all to no avail.
Well, they've both been in the room together this morning, and that was the sole purpose of getting an agreement. You think that would be possible, but Shakarama wouldn't accept it.
What was the atmosphere like?
Well, a little bit tense, really, in the situation. The umpire is very sensitive.
I'm 100% correct, 100% confident.
Well, one would hope for the good of the game, which is, after all, much more important than anything else, that he would accept Mike Gatting's apology, provide his own, and get on with the job.
Well, Peter Lush then headed off to meet the Pakistani Cricket Board in Lahore, but the president was attending a dinner, so no progress in that direction till tomorrow. All day today, Peter has been in contact with the Test and County Cricket